Are there advantages to aging? Yes, I am Debbi-Jo Horton, and welcome to Advantages to Aging. Join my guests and I as we discuss aging and what makes for a healthy lifestyle, which results in a quality life. Thank you for joining me today. Welcome, listeners, and Happy New Year. Another year has gone by, and I wanted to make sure that I took some time to say thank you. Thank you for supporting my podcast, both in listening, sharing, and promoting. This has been one heck of a ride for me, and I so appreciate hearing all of the feedback from all of you. So if you are not following on my website, advantagestoaging.com, you are definitely going to want to do that. You're going to be able to see and hear all of the episodes that we've done so far, as well as sign up for the podcast community so that you get notifications each and every time a new episode drops. And you'll find some really cool blogs that post a couple of times a month. So my passion is helping make people better. And that's what really drove me to start this podcast, because I got, tired of hearing people and their negative mindsets about the aging process. Aging doesn't have to be a bad thing. In fact, if you wake up in the morning, you've aged. So I don't care whether or not you're 2, 22, 62, or 102. We all can benefit by listening in on other people's advantages to aging and take them to heart. Find something that you hear on an episode and put it into action, because aging well is really a mindset. It can be a positive mindset or it can be a negative mindset. Now, we're all wired to basically go to the negative side, because when we were first created, our mindset helped to keep us safe. Fight or flight. Well, we don't have to worry about being eaten by a saber-toothed tiger anymore. At least I don't think we do. Not in the physical sense. But we still have that brain that's wired to keep us safe. So oftentimes we look at all of the negatives. So what I'm going to suggest in this new year is that you look at each area of your life and kind of take an assessment realistically. How am I doing? Where could I improve? And make it a point to try to improve 1% each day. That's 1/100th of one. Seems insignificant in the act of doing it, but compounded over time, you will make huge changes in your attitude, which will reflect in your relationships. It'll reflect in your health. It'll reflect in every aspect of your life. So maybe don't start with all the different aspects of your life, but eventually you want to be doing 1% better in your relationships, 1% better in your health, 1% better in your mindset, 1% better in becoming the best version of you can possibly be, 1% better in, did I say relationships? I think it's worth repeating if I did. I think you get the point, is that adding 1% more, 1% of something positive each and every day into your life is going to really change the way that you look at everything, but also in what you're attracting to yourself, because what you focus on grows. So in 2023, we can, just keep going on the same path that we were on in 2022. And at the end of 2023, you'll be saying, nothing really changed. Or I know in 2022, this happened, 2023, this happened. I can't even wait for 2024. Stop. Get that out of your head. Again, what you focus on grows. So use the slight edge philosophy. And if you don't know what the slight edge is, it's a great book by Jeff Olson. I highly recommend that you read it. Read 10 pages of a good book each day, and you will become and implement it. That's important. Implement what you're reading. and you'll become a better version of yourself. Because don't you want to show up as the best version of you can possibly be? If not for yourself, for all of your loved ones? I certainly do. I always want to become the best version of me while having the best intention for others. And I think that's a great way to lead your life and really look at aging in that view, like really reflect on how could I make my path to aging be that others will want to follow, especially if you have children. They are watching. Your friends, they are watching. If you're on social media, the world is watching. And that's not to say that bad things don't happen to good people. Of course they do. Of course they do. And sometimes you don't have any control over what happens to you, or as I like to say, what happens through you. But you have complete control over how you respond to them. You can respond with a positive attitude, or you can respond with a defeatist attitude. The choice is yours. The choice is always yours. And I know I oftentimes get pushback from people saying, no, you don't understand. This happened. And how could that possibly be any worse? Well, let me share a couple of stories with you that I think might help to make the point. So, almost 6 years ago, I lost my significant other to cancer. He had been diagnosed with terminal cancer in July after at least a year of not knowing what was going on. Something was definitely wrong, and they couldn't figure out what it was. And he had, on the outside, to most people, a very rosy outlook on life. But at home, he would oftentimes be pretty negative. And before we finally got that diagnosis, he had been really negative because he was not feeling well. All the doctors that he went to said, well, at your age, you should expect blah, blah, blah. Well, it just left him with a very negative attitude. And I read another really great book, The Happiness Advantage by Shawn Achor. And in it, he had this little challenge. And he said, at the end of every day, before you put your head down on the pillow, tell someone you love 3 things about that day that you are grateful for. So I challenged Justin to do just that. I said, at the end of every day, I want you to tell me 3 things that you're grateful for, and I'm going to tell you my 3 things. But there's this little caveat. If you say, oh, well, I'm grateful for the sun that was shining, but, it did rain in the afternoon. If you say but, you negate that positive, and it takes 2 more positives to make up for that negative. So I won't tell you how many gratitudes you had to tell me the first night, but it got to the point where he was coming up with those 3 pretty easily. And after the 3 weeks, on the next night, I turned off the lights and he turned it right back on. He goes, where are your gratitudes? There's a story in this. There's an ending coming up. Well, when he's finally diagnosed with terminal cancer in July, in December, after many different surgeries and tests and all kinds of things that they did, we were sitting there waiting for the results of his latest chest x-ray. And we kind of knew in the heart of hearts that we were not going to like the results. But as we were sitting there, this woman was rolled by on a gurney. She was maybe in her 40s, maybe. And she was in excruciating pain. They had her strapped down so that she would not hurt herself. And she was crying and crying and screaming. And Justin took my hand and said, there, but for the grace of God, go I. I have lived a good, long life. And if the news is that we are not wanting to hear, I'm okay with that. And I need you to be okay with that. That's attitude. That is mindset. And he lived those next 2.5 months with more gratitude in his heart and letting those people who are most important to him know just how important to him they were. So as I said, sometimes you can't always control that which happens to you, but you can always control your attitude about it. This is your host, DJ Horton. But did you know that I'm also a founding brand partner with Neora? Neora is a company that really abides by clean meets performance in their products. But what I really love about it is the opportunity. It has done so much for me and for people on my team, being able to pay off bills early, go on vacation, and make a difference in the world. Are you looking to make a difference in 2023? Check out the link in the show notes. It is going to be a great year. What I want to share next is a story to kind of bring home the point that the biggest treasure in the world is that of time. Don't waste it. So not only do we not waste those last weeks, days, moments of his life, but I recently had a friend who confided in me that she was really quite upset. She didn't know what to do. She had fallen in love with someone who was much younger than she was. And it really was bothering her. She was like, people are going to talk. I don't know what to do. I just can't do this. And she had spent a very long time trying to date other people. And she said, I really realized that I'm comparing every single person that I meet to him, and no one is coming close. She was like, I just don't know what I should do. And I said, time, age, it's a man-made thing. It doesn't matter. Like, there's so many people who don't get as much time on this earth as others, and they're not going to waste it. So if you really love this man and he loves you, doesn't matter the difference in your age. That's only something that you and he can answer. And be damned with everybody else. It's not their life. Again, it's all about the mindset. It's all about the attitude. And what you believe and what you feel about yourself, that's what's most important. The things that you tell yourself weigh more heavily on you than the words you'll hear from anyone else. So don't let them be negative. Always make them positive. So as you look forward to this new year, I hope that you tune in every other week for our newest episode of Advantages to Aging. And don't be shy to share those advantages that you know that have really helped you in creating the best life that you've had. And don't waste that treasure of time. This is DJ Horton, your host of Advantages to Aging. I hope something here today has touched your heart and you will take my challenge. What one area of your life are you going to do 1% better tomorrow? Do you think one of the biggest advantages to aging is all the knowledge we gain along the way? Me too. What did you learn today? Share with me in my Facebook group with the same name as this podcast, Advantages to Aging. Now hit subscribe so you don't miss all the tips to come in future episodes.